You get to look at real estate from a financial perspective and make a sale and make a lot of money. So people who want to do this, it is a niche and it is open for people who want to join the team, across the country.
All right, so this is Trish Beeman. She's our top producer and our vice president down in our Atlanta office in this new acquisition program that we launched. So it's been 4 weeks since a new institution entered the SFR space. The whole world is realizing that single family homes are the greatest thing on the planet now. This particular company was headed our way, and then COVID hit, and now they're coming in full steam. So it's gratifying to see new interest in the sector, and it's gratifying that we got out of the gate and we're having a lot of success. So what got you into real estate and then got you into this space?
Yeah, it's a great question. I'm actually a corporate refugee. So I worked in operations management. I was in television production. And when I got into real estate is because I wanted to work from home more and spend more time with my kids. And then, I love it so much that now I'm juggling how I do all this SFR stuff, which I love and am so passionate about, and manage my family. But it's a great field to be in, and it's a great lifestyle that it can give you.
Yeah, one of the things that's cool about the SFR side of real estate is that you're different than your competition, right? You're doing business right now because of things that you know about the market and ways that you execute in the market. And it's not as much about who you know, it's about what you know, right? You know the rental market because you've been dealing in property management and rentals for some time, which is a critical skill to be able to do the investment market, the SFR market, because you got to know the value, you got to know the rent to be able to figure out what the yield's going to be. But we launched this client a month ago, and the client is, as I said, interesting because they are suited for the market today. They understand how aggressive they have to be. But there is this perception out there that, well, in 2021, you can't get a house, right? Quote unquote, every house on the market goes for over asking price in 30 minutes. What is the secret to getting a high conversion rate in such a competitive place?
Honestly, I think one of the secrets is listening to the listing agent. So, what we on my team do and what I do is I always like to reach out to the listing agent first because, yes, houses are going fast. They are getting multiple offers. But I think building relationship with the person listing the house and then listening to them and understanding what their client needs is a key for us and finding out what we can give them. So in our market, we've won a couple recently where we weren't the highest offer, we weren't the highest price, but we could close faster. One of my favorites is we can do a temporary occupancy. Since we're going to hold for a rental, I say, oh, well, what's your client going to do after that? Have they sold the house yet? It's bananas out there. And they go, oh no, we're trying to figure out what to do. And I said, well, how about this? Instead of your client moving out of my house and being in limbo and spending 10 grand to put all their stuff in storage and all the hassle of moving twice, why don't you lease the home from us? Or we'll give you a 20-day temporary occupancy. And if you don't find anything, then you can start leasing the home from us. So then I'm finding these win-wins. Like, what does that person need? I've taken deals offering that up to people saying, oh, well, we can give you something that no one else can give you.
That's really interesting. So you're going to have situations where the seller is going to wind up being the tenant for the first year.
That's right.
Let's just take our time. We can always break the lease and go out a little earlier, and we're happy to do that and move somebody else in. That's really cool.
I was just going to say, then I'm also saving money for the client, right? Because really, we're going to ultimately put this on the market. We got some CapEx we got to spend. But if I can kick that can down the road for my client 6 months later and start collecting rent straight out of the gate, then we're really winning. We're winning the deal. We're winning for that seller and their client. And then we're winning for our client as well, which is really where I like to sit, where everybody feels good about this deal.
Yeah, it's powerful. And people that don't know this side of the business, you can't overestimate how big of a deal it is to have zero vacancy. When you make an investment and the first thing that investment does is cost you money because you're spending it to get it fixed up. And most of the houses that we're selling don't need much, right? But they're still going to take a few weeks to lay some carpet down or paint or replace a countertop. And so you're going to lose a month, right? In most cases, that's 1/12 of your gross income for a year. And that takes a bite out of it. And it makes a very, very big difference to segue in. And that's one of the things I love about this. And Walter knows I've been talking about this for a long time within our organization, is this idea that we have a series of solutions at our fingertips that most people in the business don't have. If it's buy or sell and there's nothing in between, that works for most people. Here's an example of where lease ends up providing a solution. It's a skill set that you guys have developed because of the side of the business you chose to go into that makes you more resourceful and capable of doing things that other people can't, which I think is an awesome fringe benefit. You hear any examples of or see anything changing with respect to the buyer demand being more aggressive than it was just a couple of months ago? Or is there any signs that it's quieting down and they're getting a little bit fed up?
Yeah, what we're seeing actually, and I have a number of friends and colleagues who work on the residential side, they're talking at some of the big brokerages in Atlanta about buyer fatigue. Not people with, even just VA loans, which are sometimes more challenging, or even an FHA, which could be challenging. We're talking about conventional step-up buyers with a 20% down payment, 100 grand in the bank, good credit, that are having a hard time competing, buying houses, at 500 and up. So I think when you start to hear about buyer fatigue, it's going to speak to what's coming in the market. Those people are going onto the sidelines. So there will still be that pent up demand, but there's not that pressure on the market right now. So a little bit of reading the tea leaves is to say, okay, well, if enough buyers have that fatigue, they're going to sit on the sidelines. It could loosen the throttle a little bit, right? And there could start to be more movement in the marketplace. Maybe people have more confidence. So it'll be interesting to watch, how much patience those buyers have to go out and see 10 houses, make offers on 6 and get 0. And that happens 3 weekends in a row. You're feeling a little frustrated, or that happens 2 months in a row. You say, oh, well, maybe I'll rent, or maybe I won't move right now. Maybe I'll just wait it out.
It's interesting. This illustrates one of the things I love about SFR. When you try to figure out, as I'm constantly doing, where things are going, what's the chessboard look like down the line? If what you said comes to pass, those people need someplace to live. When I say they want to live indoors, population grows and it wants to live indoors. I'm being cute with that line, but the truth is that in your scenario, if somebody needs a place to go, what are they going to do if they can't find one to buy? Some of these things wind up inadvertently playing into our hands. When you own rental property and the economy is great and everybody's climbing over each other to buy houses, you win. You win because the property values go up on what you own. And new rental demand gets created by people who could afford to buy but can't manage to pull it off. And so they wind up paying for a rental, driving up your rent a little bit to be able to have a good place to go for a year, to let the dust settle and figure it out. The economy goes the wrong way, and we've seen this, and rental demand goes through the roof because home ownership declines or home ownership flattens out. You may not have as much upward pressure on values in those situations, but what you get it instead is in the yield. All right. And that's why I think a lot of people, when they start to understand the two sides of this, that you're getting income and you're getting appreciation. And if you put them into the same bucket of ROI, a typical house in both of your markets is going to be pushing better than 10%, where it used to be a 6% yield and a 4% appreciation adding up to 10. Now it's a 3% yield and a 7% appreciation adding up to 10 or 11 or 12. And then if you leverage it with a mortgage at 2.5%, forget it. Now you're into the mid-teens to high teens in terms of ROI. Your stockbroker gives you your numbers. Real estate brokers say your investment's doing great, right? And so that's one of the things we're trying to change, is have people start to get their brain around the numbers that a typical single-family homes in the suburbs produces and how it actually performs at low double digits without breaking a sweat, right? And that's part of the reason I think that so many people are converging on it. This is something that I want to share with people in the business that might think about joining our team. We have slots available to help service this account. And so you folks have been on it. You helped us land it back in January, and then they went live a month ago. What would you say to somebody who is looking at real estate and saying, maybe I could use a specialization to be able to attach themselves to this team?
If you're looking at this as an opportunity, I think the possibilities are really almost endless to make money. I know a lot of salespeople, people who do residential sales. And when I first got into this, I was like, I don't know. I'm not really a real estate person. I'm not really a salesperson. I'm a numbers nerd. I like numbers. You really get to analyze deals. You get to look at real estate from a financial perspective, from a profit perspective, while you can meet people and make a sale and make a lot of money. So people who want to do this, it is a niche, and it is open for people who want to join the team, across the country.
Yeah, it's great. You can touch 60 houses and sell one house, and it's a success because you're selling to a home buyer. So the exponential income potential on this, by you're selling more than one house to a client, and then you're leasing the houses, so you're making money more than one way on the same client. It's an assembly line, and I'm excited about the whole team being able to do this. And anybody who watches this little podcast episode decides they want to check it out. When you do things in high velocity, the number of negotiations that you've been in on in the last month has been unbelievable. And every one of them adds some knowledge into your brain about how deals can get done, and how it isn't just a matter of making an offer and hoping for the best. It's how you talk to them. It's the reputation that you build with listing agents out there in the marketplace. It's how you convey seriousness. When agents have an initial reaction to, an investor, do I want to deal with an investor? It's like, no, you're dealing with Trish. The investor is their client. but you've got a local professional in the market to engage with. So I appreciate you coming on. I hope you have continued success. I know you will. And again, you're making us really proud. So thank you.